away. Checkpoints. Tall, broad-shouldered government soldiers with mirror-faced helmets and automatic weapons attempt to bring order to this incomprehensible chaos. The film's final scenes are of earth-moving machines and the enormous trenches they've made. These trenches are as wide and deep as strip mines. Bulldozers are standing by to help refill them, their scoops loaded with the uncountable dead. The video ends and I sit in the dark, lost in shock, horror, and total confusion. Is it some sick joke? A staged Holocaust? Am I supposed to believe that some hideous plague has been hidden from history? When did it happen? Why have I never seen anything like it before? Why has no one ever seen or heard about this? There are no answers to my questions. How could there be? What I have just witnessed simply isn't possible. Suddenly there are hands on my shoulder, and I leap up from the couch, fists clenched, crashing into an end table and knocking a coffee cup to the concrete floor. There's the sound of breaking glass and my heart nearly explodes. Hayes, it's just me, Dad. Hayes, it's me, Down Boy. Of course, it was just my father putting his hands on my shoulders, meaning to comfort me. Still, I can't quite give him a pass for this. It is his shelter, and his damned film, in his hands. What was that? I demand to know. Tell me. Please explain it. That film, he says. That, Hayes, is the truth. That's what really happened on 7-4 day. They almost killed off the entire human race. What you learned in grade school, everything you read at university, is just a cruel hoax. Book 1. Fall from Grace. Chapter 1. 48 hours earlier, a mere 2 days before I watched the 7-4 day film at my parents' house. When I arrived at President Hughes Jacklin's inauguration party that night in the year 2061, I was flying high, happier and more self-satisfied than I had ever been. I couldn't have dreamed I would end up losing everything I cared about. My home, my job, my 2 darling daughters, Chloe and April, and my beautiful wife, Lizbeth, who was there by my side. In the catastrophic whirlwind of those next horrible days, it would seem as if my world had been turned upside down and any part of my personality that wasn't securely bolted in place had fallen into the void. And what was left was what I guess you'd call the essential Hayes Baker. Well, if you brought the old me and the new me to a party, I guarantee nobody would accuse us of a family resemblance. Lizbeth and I arrived at the presidential estate at around 8:30, delivered in high style by our artificially intelligent Daimler SX 5500 limo. This wasn't our usual car, of course. A cheery, top-of-the-line I. Jeeves butler helped us out onto the resplendent, putting green short grass of the front lawn. We promptly began to gawk at our surroundings, like a couple of tourists, I suppose. Hell, like lowly humans given an unlikely glimpse of the good life. Even now I remember that the warm night air was sweet with the fragrance of thousands of roses, gardenias, and other genetically enhanced flowering plants in the president's gardens, all programmed to bloom tonight. What a botanical miracle it was, though a bit show-offy, I'd say. This is absolutely incredible, Hayes. Dazzling. Inspiring, Lizbeth gushed, her gorgeous eyes shining with excitement. We really do run the world, don't we? By we, Lizbeth wasn't talking about just herself and me. She was speaking of our broader identity as ruling elites, the upper echelon of civilized society for the past 2 decades. Most elites were attractive, of course, but Lizbeth, with her violet hair set off by ivory skin and an almost decadent silver silk gown, well, she sparkled like a diamond dropped into a pile of wood chips. You're going to knock 'em dead, Jinxie, I said, winking, as always. Flattery, she said, winking back, will get you everywhere. Jinxie was my favorite nickname for her. It stemmed from the fact that she'd come into this world on a Friday the 13th, but there wasn't a single thing unlucky about her, or our life together for that matter. I took her tastefully bejeweled hand in mine, inwardly thrilled that she was my wife. God, how I love this woman. How lucky I was to be with her, as husband, as father to our 2 daughters. Every head turned as we walked into the huge, high-ceilinged ballroom.